Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am the Outback Al.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm cheating you.
And I'm Envy Jitters.
And we're back. It's our last Anime Yay or Nay of the year. We've decided to go green, and we're ending going green on a Pokemon thing. It's a very big anime, and Dan Green is a very big guy. I felt like I was going somewhere more profound with that, but I wasn't. So this is Pokemon 3. They think the working title for it is Spell of the Unknown. Mm-hmm. And this, have you guys seen this one before? I remember seeing this one as a kid.
Yes, I have.
No, this was my first time watching it.
Okay. What did the newbies feel about this one?
Kind of like the first Pokemon movie. I thought it was pretty entertaining for what it was.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Is it just okay?
Yeah.
I feel like this is probably the best Pokemon movie in my opinion. I just think it holds up the best under scrutiny for the most part.
I definitely, of the ones that I saw when I was little, I loved this one, and I also love the one with Jirachi. So those were my favorites.
Which one was that? Was that like 5 or 6?
I want to say it was number 5.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
Well, 4 was the one with Celebi.
Yes. Jirachi, I think, came after.
Well, it had to. That was a generation later.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was anything in between there, though. Might not have been. Yeah, they didn't... There's like 17, 18 of these movies now. I think they started making them much more frequently later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this one is the Entei one that people probably know as that. I'm really trying to remember if I saw this in theaters. I know I saw the first Pokemon movie in theaters, and I got the
was this
special
movie based off of
it.
like Pokemon from Gen 2 or Gen 3?
Yeah, this was Gen 2.
Okay.
Pokemon 2000 was also Gen 2, but that focused on, like, Lugia. But, yeah. So, Dan Green's a papa, and he has a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
There was something about a Pikachu and little Pikachus running around.
Pichus.
Something. There was a short... No one cares about that. It's... doesn't matter. Because Dan Green's a Indiana Jones paleontologist, archaeologist, whatever. He's a Pokemon researcher person with a little girl, and what I presumed in the beginning was a dead mother, but was wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That one threw me for a loop at the end. But he's going and looking for the unknown. Make your Frozen jokes now. and he finds the unknown, and they suck him into an alternate universe where he floats around in space amongst them in their alphabet soup evil, not necessarily evil, but like nightmarish, eldritch, psychic energy, whatever they do. They zap into the Pokemon world, the human world, whatever world you want to call it. It gets a little confusing when your kid's movie starts talking about, like, interdimensional travel, and you have to wonder which world in this fantasy land everybody's coming to or going from. But, yeah. So, the unknown show up in canon timeline universe, and they find the little girl who is grieving over the fact that her father is presumed dead, and now she's all alone in this giant house and has no one to be with anymore. And all of the little interdimensional alien eyeballs crowd around her and start to feed off of her despair and anxiety and then change it into her fantasies.
Yep.
So they've essentially given a 4-year-old the powers of God. Terrible idea, no matter how you slice it. But of course her idea is to turn everything into crystals, I guess.
Yep, it's her crystal kingdom.
Yeah. Don't really know why that was, but hey, maybe she wanted to be a geologist or something.
It's kind of weird because, like, in the unknown in this movie, they seem pretty OP, but I remember when you were playing the Fire Red Nuzlocke, and you were battling one.
Yeah, no.
You kicked its ass.
Yeah, Unknown are the worst Pokemon in the game. The worst. They are the most useless. They barely have any stats whatsoever, and they only know one move, and it's garbage. But in here, they can rewrite reality. Go figure.
Yeah.
So yeah, the little girl starts rewriting reality, and it's starting to affect the world around her. And as it would, the fields of the place start turning into crystals, and people running for their lives, as you do when these sort of things happen. And she summons an Entei into existence and proclaims that it is her father, because they had a happy father-daughter moment where he said, "I am Entei."
Yeah.
Anyway, let's cut to our favorite protagonists, air quotes, Ash, Misty, and Brock, who are just fucking around between gyms. I don't really know what they do on a daily basis for the most part, but yeah, they're just kind of walking around, and they meet someone named Lisa, and they battle, and I could not tell you who actually won that battle because not everybody's Pokemon were knocked out at the end. Also, the credits are in Comic Sans, and I hate it. Did anyone else notice? Am I the only one who noticed that?
What did
Could you
say?
repeat that? You were both talking.
Sorry, the credits were in Comic Sans. Does that bug anyone else? You're a multi-million-dollar company. The Pokemon, Nintendo, all of it, whoever animated this, I don't even care. You're a multi-million-dollar... Actually, you know what? It's 4Kids' fault, because it was the English subtitles credit. Don't use Comic Sans. If you're a professional company, don't use fucking Comic Sans. You look like you put this... It was like a YouTube video from 2006. You're a professional company in 2003. Sorry.
I was just paying attention.
It was released... Hang on. It was released internationally by Warner Brothers.
Yeah, because they own 4Kids.
There you go. Yep. So.
Yeah, Warner Brothers. Comic Sans? Why?
I don't know.
It had to be a 4Kids decision, though, because they're the ones actually doing the translating and all that stuff. It wasn't Comic Sans at the end credits. So clearly you had access to other fonts. I'm sorry. I'm hanging on this for too long. It just doesn't gel for me because the rest of this movie looks really good. Like, the animation for Pokemon has always been fine. It's passable for an anime because it's like an anime that's going to have like 8,000 episodes. So, you know, nothing's going to be like Demon Slayer. But, you know, the movies always put a little bit extra into what they were doing because you should. But I love what they do with all the backgrounds and like the landscape shots and everything else in here. They really put in some effort there. But then they put Comic Sans over. I'm sorry. I'm becoming that Saturday Night Live sketch about Papyrus. If you haven't seen that, watch it. It's funny. But
I didn't pay attention to that. To tell you the truth, I was just more paying attention to the battle and the kind of catchy, the catchy song.
Hated
remix.
The song. I did not enjoy that remix of that. I don't know.
It was cheesy in an early 2000s way.
Yeah. Maybe that wasn't my brand of cheese. I don't know. If you're into that sort of cheese, that's fine. I was a little confused by the battle because it seemed like everyone was either just getting one-shotted or just leaving, or I don't know. It didn't really seem.
I kind of assumed that Ash won at the end with Pikachu.
They said he won. I don't know that I can confirm that, but because the other
does
person...
Lisa become a side character in the later seasons?
No, fuck no. She's only here for this.
No.
I thought she became one of the.
This is a movie. No one here will ever be seen again.
Any like little side character that they add for the movies, more often than not, they don't come back. Our other side characters that we get basically replace Misty at some point, and then again, those side characters get replaced by another person.
I was gonna say, I thought I didn't know if Lisa was one of the many girlfriends of Ash that he had over the years.
No. If Brock is gonna hit on you, you're not gonna stick around.
I was gonna say, yeah. Ash is 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ash is
Forever.
10.
Yeah, I know.
Forever.
Or
That's the-
33,
that's the
depending
joke.
on, if you're actually counting how many years he's been doing this. But,
Yeah, it'd be a bit weird for Brock to hit on a 10-year-old.
he does later. We'll get there. How old is Brock? Is he like 15 or something? I know he's older than Ash.
I don't know.
I think Ash is 10, Misty's 12, and Brock is 15.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I don't know about him hitting on, like, Nurse Joy or Officer Jenny, but, like, actually, that Lisa seemed right about in his age, and maybe he could have had a shot there.
Nope, never coming back.
No, of course not, but maybe he had a shot.
Meh.
Anyway, they're going to Greenfield, because, they want to... Oh, shit, no. I was about to make a Sonic joke, but that's Green Hills.
Yeah.
Green Hill Zone.
Yeah. So they're going to Greenfield because it has rolling fields and it's beautiful. It's got beautiful grass and beautiful flowers and beautiful windmill and beautiful... Like, you count the number of times Misty describes it as beautiful. But they get there and it's not so beautiful because everything looks like a glassblower went crazy.
Yep.
And everyone's freaking out because, like, holy shit, what's happening? No one knows, but it seems to be coming from this big crystal flower place that replaced the giant, beautiful mansion in the center of town. And then everyone's seeing it on the news, because now we have news coverage, which is actually kind of good. We didn't really have those in the other movies, despite
We
natural
had it a
disasters
little bit
basically
in
happening.
the first one. We had it a
I
little
guess
bit in
so.
the first one.
Yeah, but not...
Because they were covering
well,
the disaster.
Yeah, I guess it'd be hard for them to get to the island. But where were they in the second one where islands were blowing up?
I don't know. That is a good point.
Yeah. So, Mom Ketchum and Professor Oak, Ash's parents, see what's going on. Apparently they know Dan Green because they all work for 4Kids. And yeah, we discussed yesterday how Ash is also his mother. So they go to Greenfield or Crystalfield, whatever you want to call it now, to see what's going on, see if they can help out, and they're worried about the newly orphaned Dan Green daughter. What's her face?
Molly.
Molly, yeah.
That was actually surprising to me to see that Ash's mom was like a major side character in this movie. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it happens. You got to have character development at some point.
Because I always thought, that she was always just, the mother that just let her 10-year-old go out into dangerous adventure and bangs Professor Oak on the side.
Let's be honest here. She is not the only mom in that country to do that.
Oh, of course not.
For either of the things you mentioned.
She's just kind of there to be like a home center for Ash to come back to, and also to have
Gav.
a mime.
You know Professor Oak is a gilf.
I do remember the Mr. Mime that she has, and I don't want to remember Mr. Mime, so...
Why don't you want to remember Mr. Mime?
Mr. Mime was like...
Is
I mean,
this
I
creepy?
was gonna say, I always thought everyone thought Mr. Mime was creepy.
No.
I mean, it is... I don't know. People have plenty of stuff about...
he does
Mr.
look
Mime
a
and the
little
mom.
strange,
Let's-
but I'd prefer him over a clown.
He is a clown. Look, have you seen his face?
No, like an actual clown.
Is there a clown Pokemon other than Mr. Mime?
I don't
Yes.
know. Oh, there is?
Yes? Which one?
Wait,
What am I
let
thinking
me
of?
think about this. I think I'm thinking of something else. My bad. Don't listen to me.
You're thinking of Digimon, aren't you?
No,
You
I was
silly
thinking of Mime
sod, you.
June. I was thinking of Mime Junior, but that is Mr. Mime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So never mind.
It's got the last name and the first name now.
There is an actual, like, clown Pokemon.
Is that a later generation that I'm
I
forgetting?
think so. Yeah, I think
What
it's
is
a
it?
later generation. Let me look
I
it
don't-
up.
I don't know what you're talking. Oh,
Or maybe-
no.
Uh,
No.
There's over 1,000 of them now. Well, I think we can be forgiven for forgetting a couple.
I don't think there is.
Okay.
Oh no, wait.
Well, while
That's
you
just
look that
person.
up,
Never
and-
mind.
Okay.
I was It's just a person.
It's just some clown in the anime.
Yes.
Who may be yet another person banging Ash's mom. We don't know. We don't know. We know she's a MILF. She can probably get it. We know she can get it. But anyway, she's in town. And along with everybody else. And of course, you know, she's so happy to see Pikachu. And kind of happy to see Ash. I did love that, like, just... It's like, Pikachu, hey! Hi, Mom. Oh, hey, honey. That, like... It's a bit more of a serious movie, but I do like how occasionally we do get those 4Kids lines that are just like, well done. Perfect. A couple of good lines here and there. They don't get as many laughs as the Digimon movie. We gotta say that. But, yeah, so they're like, well, we gotta get in there somehow. Meanwhile, Molly's watching a live broadcast on her laptop in 2003, which I don't know was possible yet. But, I don't know.
I mean, her family's rich. They could probably afford the best technology.
I get technology, but it was a laptop. And it's like...
They also have video
you know
telephones.
What? You're right. They had Skype before Skype was a thing.
Yes.
So, sure. Fine. Whatever. I won't nitpick too much. But she sees, like everybody else in this series, she sees Ash's mom and she's like, I need that in my life. And she says to Entei, I want that to be my new mom. And Entei's like, it's just full Wesley as you wish. And he hops off to pick it up. What's up?
I was going to say, there was a picture in her room of her dad with Ash's mom and Ash when they were like younger. So that's where she saw Ash's mom again. And that's why she said she wanted her as her new mom.
Yeah. Plus, you know, convenience of being in the area.
Yeah.
So Entei jumps out, goes, grabs, and takes them back because he can just do that. And he's better than everybody else because he's a legendary Pokemon that isn't even real because he's technically made out of psychic energy and blah, blah, blah. But they go back, and then people are trying to, like, bulldoze their way to the big crystal palace in the middle, but they can't. Because they got defenses. The unknowns just start shooting more crystals out. Which if that was a move they could do in the game, they could be fucking useful or something. But no, just fucking hidden power or whatever. I'm not gonna. But yeah. So Ash has decided, you know what? I'm the protagonist. I'm the only person who ever gets anything done in these movies. I'm going to go do it. Misty and Brock, you can tag along if you want. So they do. Lisa gives them a phone, and they rush off into the landscape because they realize that the crystals can't freeze water for some reason, so they're just going up a river. Smart. They actually do utilize the Pokemon pretty well in this movie, I think, for the most part. Like, they use the Noctowl to get Bulbasaur and Chikorita up to the top of the waterfall, Vine Whip down, and, like, so they can climb up, and that's actually what wakes up the hypnotized Miss Ketchum, because she's watching her son climb up a waterfall, and he slips, and she's like, "You get down from there right now, young man!" I'm like, what a way to wake a mother up. But that was nice. But she still has to pretend like she's under the spell because, oh my god, there's a giant lion dog thing right next to me that could probably eat my face.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, though, let's talk about the most useless part of the movie. Even though I love them, let's admit, Team Rocket was useless. Has served no point in this movie.
My dude, they're pointless in every Pokemon movie.
Yeah.
But especially in this one. Like, they even Mouth even broke the fourth wall and said, hopefully we have more plot for the next movie.
I would almost argue they are more useful in this movie because later on they do save Ash and the rest of the gang from falling off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do in Pokemon, the first movie? Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Not
exactly. Nothing. What did they do in Pokemon 2000?
I didn't see that one, so
I'll spoil it for you. They were there, they watched, and that's it. And even they were like, well, we didn't do anything. And some of the aliens like, well, you witnessed it, and that is its own thing that is important. Like, it's some bullshit. You were just there to make some jokes.
Yeah.
They don't matter for these movies.
Honestly, like, it's kind
okay.
of funny that you turn, like, your main set of antagonists into comic relief for all of your movies.
I mean, the only one where I feel like and I don't remember for sure, the only one where I think they had some relevance to the plot was that other one with Mewtwo, where Dan Green actually voiced Mewtwo.
Mewtwo Strikes Back?
No, that was
that it?
That was the first movie. It was like Mewtwo Returns, or like like, okay. Spoilers for Pokemon the first movie if you haven't seen it, and since it came out years and years and years and years and years ago. Mewtwo makes a clone army, and by the end he realizes, oh, maybe we can all live in peace, because the whole theme of the Pokemon the first movie was Pokemon shouldn't fight. Which, why are you saying that about the series that's all about making Pokemon fight? He takes them all and wipes everybody's memory of it ever happening, and he finds a valley somewhere and is just living his life. And he's like, me and all the clones are going to just hang out here, undisturbed. Team Rocket finds them, and then they're trying to capture all the cloned Pokemon, because, I mean, it's their proprietary technology for the most part, and, also super powerful Pokemon. Genetically engineered super powerful Pokemon. Team Rocket might have some relevance there, because Team Rocket is the actual antagonist of the movie. Not the Team Rocket we know, Team Rocket, the whole organization.
Right.
But that's more of a side note thing. Yeah, they're useless here. They don't need to be useful here. We got Entei. And the Unknowns. They're actually a pretty decent and frightening force to reckon with. Where were we? Right, up the waterfall. Follow the water a little bit further, and they get to the house, and they're like, okay, we can destroy the crystal with fire, but it reforms really fast, so we're going to shoot fire blast through the windows to create a hole, and then we're going to shoot water through it so that it won't freeze up again, and then we'll jump through it. I'm like, this is actually you using your head. This is actually smart. Why is this not anywhere else in these fucking movies or TV show? Like, the games have those HMs, like, to get around, like cut and strength and surf and all those things. And we kind of see people surf sometimes. Like there was the thing, that whole, like, after the Indigo League, they did the Orange Islands challenge, and they were riding around on the Lapras constantly. Why didn't we see more of that, just in general? Like, that's a kind of a necessary mechanic in the game. I was always kind of confused why you didn't really use Pokemon outside of battle almost at all in the series, other than, like, stuff that you couldn't do in the game, or, like, weird. You know what? I'm not gonna. We'd have to go through, like, the whole series to do that. But
I really honestly think that was probably just because they wanted to focus on one thing, and they probably just had a lot of character designs. Or like, okay, we're gonna take a kid and have him go and just fight people in gyms.
Yeah, but, like, it doesn't have to be the focus of an episode. But, like, it's like after your first gym battle with Brock or whatever, and you learn how to use Cut. Oh, we're stuck in this forest. Hey, Bulbasaur, use Cut. And, you get through the forest faster. It doesn't have to be a whole thing where you're focusing the whole episode on just learning how to do Cut. But you don't use it.
I
anyway,
know.
I'm rambling a lot in this episode, I think. In the house, and Entei and Molly realize they're in the house. And they're like, hey, they're Pokemon trainers. That's kind of cool. I always wanted to be a Pokemon trainer. So she splits her consciousness and goes downstairs with Entei, because she can do that now. And he's like, you could be a Pokemon trainer and fight these people. And she's like, but I don't think I'm old enough to be a Pokemon trainer. And now she's 20. And yeah, because she believed she could, she altered her own physiology to become an adult.
Or at least a teenager.
At least a teenager, yeah. Like, some 16, 18, somewhere in that range, at the very least.
I take it she never comes back either in the series.
Who, Molly?
Yeah.
No, of course not. She's here for this movie and never again. The unknowns are basically here for this movie and never again. Maybe they were there in the series. They're actual Pokemon. Maybe that would be important. I don't know. I don't really recall them that much afterwards. But, yeah, she goes down there. And ironically, Brock does not hit on her immediately. Literally every other person, any other remotely attractive individual that Brock has ever met, he will, first chance he get, run over and just fall in love with them. But he paused for her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Because he knew, I'm pretty sure he knew initially, this is the 4-year-old or 5-year-old that's pretending to be a teenager.
He know, though?
Because I guess, because they figured out throughout the movie that, they gradually figured out that this whole thing is an imagination created by Molly. So
But I don't know that they knew that right then. I'm kind of wondering how he knew.
I think it was right before the battle that they had between Brock and Molly was when they figured it out.
Yeah, but if they figured it out right then, why wouldn't he hit it? Never mind. Doesn't matter. Brock did not hit on a minor, we assume. Later on, it might be a little suspect. I don't know. He kind of made some comments during the battle. Yeah, she has fake Pokemon that she's gonna battle Brock. Brock's like, I will take her on. Ash, go find your fucking mother. So Ash and Misty run off into the sky stairs because terrain keeps changing. Team Rocket as well. They seem to be sneaking by a lot just to make jokes here and there. But big battle, and all of Molly's Pokemon are made of the crystal stuff, kind of the same as Entei. And they disappear and reappear and can do all these things, but like all of their, and like I noticed this also with Entei, all of their colors are off. Mostly with their attacks. Like, they have a Flaffy, and it shoots Thundershock. Thundershock, for the most part, throughout the whole series, has been yellow. It's yellow lightning. But this one's blue. And it doesn't vibe. And like, with Entei's a fire Pokemon. Fire, in general, in this entire series, red, yellow, orange combination of things, like you see with Charizard. His is purple. And I think the reason for like these weird discolorations is because they're made of psychic energy. The actual attacks that they're making are not fire attacks or lightning attacks or anything like that. They're just shaped psychic projection. And that's why everything looks off.
They're a shaped psychic projection that will basically, like, it'll affect you mentally to have you experience that pain that you would normally get from that proper attack without it actually being said type of attack.
It's like, what's that thing in D&D? Phantasmal Force. Or whatever. Something like that. Doesn't matter. So yeah, that's the only explanation I can come up with for like the weird coloration in these attacks. Brock gets his ass kicked because he's playing against God's super Pokemon. And Ash and Misty make it up to the second floor, which is a beach. And Molly shows up, and she's like, I hope you're going to give me a better fight than the last guy did. And Misty's like, I'll take this one. Ash, go get your fucking mother. Stop challenging this girl and just go do the thing. And
it's funny too, like they actually mentioned a couple times throughout the movie that, you know, she was a gym leader, and it's like I don't even remember in the anime when they did they show in the anime her being a gym leader? Because
that's how Ash got his Cascade badge.
No, it's been a long time since I've seen the anime.
Her whole family owns the gym, so her and her sisters, like that's the reason. It said like in the series why she left the group. She went back to run the gym and do all that. Because her sisters were like taking a time off. They like trade off. So yeah, it's legitimate. She's a gym leader. I don't know that her or Brock Brock was decent. Brock actually did a good job as a gym leader. I don't know that Misty was ever a very good gym leader. Anyway, Molly changes her age again because she's like, oh, I guess I don't have to be an adult to do Pokemon. And which honestly, I've played Pokemon. There are 5-year-olds like preschoolers with Pokemon in that game. She could have easily had a Pokemon. Anyway, they're fighting underwater, and everyone can breathe underwater because nothing's real. And Misty gets her ass kicked. Again, God super Pokemon. Ash goes upstairs, finds his mom. Real Molly is there because everything else was a projection of her own mind. Most of the things in this are a projection of her own mind. Entei's there. They're trying to convince her, hey, none of this is real, and we really need to leave because this is dangerous. And she just closes herself. Like, I think this is kind of the crystal stuff might be like a visual representation of how she is closing herself off from the world, like mentally.
Yeah.
Because this girl is grieving the death of her parents, or at least one parent, and we were to assume, for the most part, that the mom was dead until she shows up at during the credits of this movie. But whatever. So yeah, she's kind of turning inward and creating a fantasy land in her mind. It just so happens she's in an anime, so it's becoming a reality. And yeah, so she's trying to protect herself or her own psyche in a way, or she's dissociating. So there's a number of different ways to like psychologically analyze this, but yeah. By the way, somewhere on TV, Charizard saw this and is flying around. Just a side note that will come back later.
Yep.
Entei is like, Mom's not leaving. And Ash is like, Mom is leaving. And Entei's like, well, I'm just going to throw you off a fucking cliff. Which he does. Because he's like, hey, I'm going to do whatever I can to keep this little girl happy. And if you're causing a problem, guess what? You did. So he flies and he's about to splat on the crystal ground when Charizard flies in and saves him. And he's flying on a Charizard. So cool, is like every kid's dream back in the 90s. Comes on back, and then ensues the Charizard Entei battle that I don't think anyone can ever have any complaints about. It's fucking awesome. That's exactly what everyone wanted from Pokemon.
Yeah, no, it was a cool fight. I mean, obviously, it's one of those things where, like, could a regular Charizard beat a legendary Pokemon?
Depending on the level, yes. They only show up at level 40 in Wild in the game, so I don't know.
But yeah, I liked because it was, Ash's Charizard, and obviously in the beginning they had a rocky relationship, but in the anime they left on good terms, so
yeah.
It shows that they're still friends.
Charizard is always useful when it's convenient. So
he's a moody boy.
Yeah. But they do the fight, they do this and that, and honestly, Entei gets a little brutal there at the end. And is like gonna fucking finishing blow Charizard. And that's when Molly realizes, holy shit, this is not fun. This is not good for anybody right now. And she says to stop. Yeah.
Stop. He's already dead.
Oh no.
Pokemon shouldn't fight not like this. Yeah. I'm glad they didn't have some sort of weird moral for this one, because the first movie, I mentioned this, it was like about Pokemon shouldn't fight. Don't say that. That's your whole brand. The second movie was about, you shouldn't collect Pokemon. I'm like, that's your whole fucking brand. Yeah. This one, I think, just from that perspective, is a lot better than the other ones. But yeah, so they're like, okay, I guess we gotta do something about this then. We gotta, like, stop the unknowns from, honestly, destroying the planet, because they're like successfully destroying everything at this point, or crystallizing it, or putting it into some sort of like stasis, or a state of arrested development, which you could also make a psychological argument for what is happening to Molly right now. Yeah. And then they try to break through this barrier that the unknowns have, but the only one who can do it is Entei, because he is made of their own power or whatever, and if Molly believes in him, he is more powerful than them, and destroys them. Everything, all the crystal gets sucked back in, and the unknown fuck off to wherever they came from, and they poop out Dan Green. And Entei disappears. and everything's back to normal. Everything's happy. Ash has his mom back. Molly is just gonna deal with the fact that she is fucked up, and Team Rocket's like, hey, we'll fail next time, even though we didn't get a chance to now. Everybody go about your business.
I mean, if you think about it, you kind of feel a little bad for Molly because, I mean, she lost her, until the very end, she lost her mother, and then she thought she would lose her dad forever. So I can only imagine what it'd be like losing your parents at 5 years old. And
I don't even know that she's 5. She might be even younger than that. But yeah, it's a lot. This is like, for a kid's movie, when you really stop and think about it, this is fucking heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dad comes back, so everything's cool.
I mean, honestly, as a child who watched this, I'm pretty sure my parents probably got more out of watching this movie than I did.
Maybe. But yeah, Mom and Dad are both alive during the credits. I'm really wondering where Mom was during all this. Maybe she's just negligent.
What's the name of the Pokemon she has at the end? The one that's a teddy bear?
Teddy Ursa.
Okay, yeah. That's her new pet.
Yeah. I mean, she's old enough for a Pokemon. At least one that's not going to breathe fire on her. I mean, she's not 10 yet. Come on. You only get the really dangerous ones as a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be a kid that chooses a Muck as their first Pokemon, and
you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there was someone out there who did that. Yeah, but I have to wonder, like, who gets Pokemon based on, like, because, like, in the games and whatnot, or even in the anime or whatever, like, people always start with, like, the starter Pokemon. How come no one else has a starter, for the most part? Like, how, like, what professor is giving... It's like, if there's one of these in the game, that practically makes it a legendary Pokemon. Or if, like, they're so rare in the anime world or whatever, it's like, why would you give that to a 10-year-old? Why don't you start them with a Rattata? Like, literally every other 10-year-old in the game.
Yeah.
Seems like a weird thing just for the professors to do. But you know what? Whatever.
I feel like it's a marketing thing.
Oh, it's definitely a marketing thing, but in-universe makes no damn sense.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so she got a Pokemon, everybody's going and doing a thing. We're just going to pretend this never happened, same as those islands with the legendary birds blew up and everything else happened, and also we're going to... You know what? There was an actual reason to forget the Mewtwo thing, because he did wipe people's memories.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is just sort of one of those things. I think it's just an anime movie trope, where it's like, hey... This is going to be the toughest battle that you have ever faced in your entire life. As soon as it's over, we're going to pretend like it just never happened.
It's one of those things in anime movies where, like, they don't... Like, if it's anime based on manga, that a lot of times the movies are original stories, so they can't have anything that truly affects the plot for, like, later down the line. So that's why they're always going to make it seem like they're not as relevant to the main series.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely what they did with a lot of the Inuyasha movies.
You watched those? I did not see those.
I watched a couple of them back when I was, like, into Inuyasha when I was in middle school. But honestly, I'm going to be very honest, it was a long time ago. I don't really remember a lot of what happened to them. The only thing that I know is, like, that it doesn't have any relevance to the story.
No, yeah, I watched those Naruto movies. Not all of them. I watched like 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, he always like found some sort of power that he never had before, and was even better than every power he had before that.
Yeah,
he just never used it again.
Yep. They have to do something to make it exciting.
Yeah, but then return completely to the status quo.
Yep.
Also, can we talk about how Ash drinks stupid juice every season? No, like, this is, and this comes up. This is relevant to this movie because of that first battle. Okay? He shot a Thundershock, whatever it was, at a Quagsire, which is part ground. You should fucking know that that's not going to work. But, and it never fails. Okay, first season. His first the first gym leader he fights is Brock, who uses rock types, which also happen to be ground types. They're immune to electricity.
Right.
It's your first time fighting a gym leader, first time seeing a ground type Pokemon. I get you probably didn't know that. There's some logic to it, but you're 10, whatever. Every time he goes to a new region, he has to relearn the fact that rocks and ground types are immune to electricity. You have gone to the Pokemon Championship, Elite Four, Indigo Tournament, whatever. How do you not know that by now? It's like
I mean, it took him. It took him
so much.
I mean, it took him. They're talking about the same person that took 20 years to win a Pokemon League. So,
yeah. And why? Because he keeps forgetting everything he learned from the previous league as soon as he's in a new league. You take the lessons you learned from before, you'd win. That's how people develop and grow. But he doesn't grow. He'll never grow. He is forever a 10-year-old because his entire universe is constructed in his own mind. When that lightning bolt hit that first episode, he went into a coma, and everything else has been in his own mind. Brock isn't real.
Wow.
That's where we're going with this. You didn't think this was where it was going, but this is where it's going.
I mean, that is a very popular theory on, Ash has been in a coma, like you said, ever since he got shocked in episode 1 by Pikachu.
Honestly, at this point, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Do you guys want to talk about? I'm talking too much, quite frankly.
Nah, I think you've covered pretty much everything.
What did you guys think about the overall events of all this that we haven't talked about already? I feel like I phrased that weird.
A little.
You guys have been saying things about what we were talking about while we were talking about it. Any other things you would have like to say that you haven't already?
Nope. I'm good.
I'm trying to think. Did I miss anything about this? Does anyone else think it'd be a cool idea if, not necessarily Rocket or, you know what, I don't know what the most current evil organization is, but like, what if the evil organizations ended up tapping into the power of the unknowns to rewrite reality? Like, they had to have seen that broadcast, right? They might not have known what did it, but, I mean, like, Team Rocket or whoever could have been like, hey, Jesse and James make regular reports to Team Rocket, right?
I mean, yeah.
Don't you need that? Don't you need those like tiles in the box that the professor had?
I'm just saying, there's like there's connectable dots here. Like Jesse and James were at this place where this crazy thing, this weird warping reality thing happened. Hey, what happened? Oh, we saw these like alphabet soup looking creatures. It was. By the way, can we point out that James had one of the best lines from that? Because they're like, look at all these. I haven't seen this many strange letters since they put out that classifieds ad.
Yes.
I got a big kick out of that.
They do get the best lines in this movie. But yeah, so they saw these things. They were floating around, making all this happen. And they know that they were the ones that made it happen because they were with everyone when they said, hey, these things are warping reality. At no point did they like send a letter to the boss being like, hey, we saw a Pokemon that warped reality and we have no idea how that happened. You don't think there was some follow-up with that? Like, he was like, okay, here's where they were at the time. Oh, that mansion that is owned by the famous Pokemon researcher who is researching ancient weird Pokemon. Let's talk to that guy.
Unless
see what maybe
Jesse
happened.
and James are just incompetent and didn't file the report because technically they weren't on the job.
They're always on the job. It's a salary-based thing. It's not an hourly thing, I feel like.
I mean, Team Rocket was always, even as a kid, I always wondered about Team Rocket, at least, Jesse and James in the beginning, because, like, they spent so long trying to catch Ash's Pikachu, but, like, their Meowth is, like, the most intelligent Pokemon of all time. Like, it actually speaks human sentences fluently. It is capable of, like, of advanced thought. Yeah, like, their Meowth is, like it's basically Brian from Family Guy. Like, that's basically what he is, and... Yeah. It's like they just want Ash's Pikachu for some reason, but like they have a gold mine on their Meowth.
I
I
will
thought
say
of that.
it's a very powerful Pikachu, but at the same time, it's probably just because like it killed like it got a bunch of XP from like killing 40 some sparrows at the beginning. It's probably was like level 20 before it hit the first gym.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just Team Rocket.
It might just be a personal vendetta at this point.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you knew anything about the newer, like, teams, you'd understand that they're not smart enough to implement, like, actual, like, villainous plans.
Yeah, I know in the new game, Sword and Shield, like the big quote unquote bad organization is just like a fan club for like the one girl in the game. I forget her name or something like that.
Marnie.
Yeah, they're like her biggest
Team
fans or
Yell.
something like that.
Team Yell is just a fan club.
Okay. Gav, I hear what you're saying, that they're not competent enough to implement big nefarious plans. But how can they pilot giant robots every other episode then? So it's all in a coma. He's insane. No. There's a bit of a disconnect. They have to be intelligent enough to assemble these things.
Well,
And
I
yet-
mean, Jessie
I don't
did
watch
go
the
for
anime.
nursing school, but she didn't make it in. Didn't she? Isn't that
I
like part of her
forget.
backstory?
Yeah.
think she was part of like some sort of gang in high school. That's kind of what I remember.
She was studying to be a nurse, yeah.
Yeah.
But so you haven't watched the anime, but you know that.
Yeah.
Who,
Was
me?
that in this movie?
No. I watched pieces
No.
of the anime.
Gav didn't watch the
No,
anime.
he's talking about me.
Oh.
See, this is the problem with pointing at people over Discord. No one knows who I'm pointing at.
Yes.
Especially doesn't help I don't have my video on.
But yeah, no,
Yeah,
she went to be a nurse. I don't think she made it in,
I
but she's not a
don't
Joy.
think so.
She's a Jessie.
Yeah, she was not going to get to be in that club.
No. So I think at some point, I think she met up with James and they became part of Team Rocket. I think they might have known each other when they were kids.
No,
Could be
no,
wrong.
they didn't.
Okay.
I was gonna say, wasn't like James from like a very affluent
Yeah.
family, and and Jesse was like
He was
the
a rich
street
kid.
bombers. Yeah, and so they just connected over their.
I think they connected
Depression
after
of
they
the world or
joined
something.
Team Rocket. I think they just got partnered up and like they ended up becoming best friends or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still say, even with the incompetence of Jesse and James, you could have pieced something together. That big event happened, even without Jesse and James. That big event happens, and no one from Team Rocket was like, well, what the hell happened over here? It had to be a Pokemon thing, because that's the only thing that works in this universe. And they didn't interview anyone or like take a look at anyone, make a couple bribes, or do anything to be like, holy shit, there are Pokemon that can rewarp reality? We need to look into this. And then they do it.
Probably because it never comes back into play later on.
Why? I feel like that's like a gold mine for possibilities. Like, could you imagine if that power had gone to someone with some actual sense?
Ooh,
Yeah.
boy.
I mean, did Mewtwo ever come back in the TV series, or was he just a movie character?
He had a
Just
cameo.
a movie?
He had a cameo in the part right before, like they used him to beat up Gary at the 8th gym, the Viridian gym, and that was like the part of the movie, like right before the part of the movie where Mewtwo escapes. So it's in that little montage section. But yeah, Mewtwo could easily come back if he wanted. The Unknown could come back. Like, a lot of these legendary Pokemon could come back. I mean, like, it wouldn't be a whole lot of point for some of them, because not all, like, most of the time, the legendary Pokemon are not antagonistic. But this is one of the few times where the legendary Pokemon, not the legendary Pokemon, but, like, the main the Unknown, they're kind of they're the bad guy. You could have them come back. You could have had some weird warping reality craziness. not the first time they've done that either. Like, Celebi does stuff like that. There's, those... I haven't seen a lot of the Pokemon movies past this point. But, yeah, I feel like this could have been a thing. A much larger threat. I don't know. Guess it doesn't matter at this point. No one's gonna go back to Gen 2 for shit. So I give this a yay, I think.
Yeah, I'd give it a yay.
Yeah, I give it a yay. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Good Dan Green performance, too.
Yeah.
So, year's over.
Yeah.
Going green's over.
Mm-hmm.
What should we do now?
Relive our childhood.
Try to take over the world.
Yep. I don't have a pinky in the brain thing that's going to work as a pun for us. You did not give me enough time for that one.
I will say relive our childhoods, but...
So we're going to watch Pokemon now. We're going to probably take a break from Pokemon for a bit. Maybe we'll watch that at some point. Yeah, this is kind of what we were trying to do, like, early on. We kind of got a little caught on Dan Green because, I mean, who wouldn't? But right now we're kind of just, like, looking back on, like, some old favorites in that. So 4Kids is a big thing for all of us. Let's go back to some more 4Kids stuff. What's a famous thing 4Kids did?
One Piece.
Well, I was gonna say I wasn't gonna say famous, but infamous. Yeah, that's a good word for One Piece.
I'll take infamous. One Piece.
E.
All right. Come back next year, everybody. We're watching One Piece. Bye bye.
4Kids version.
4Kids version. Yeah, of course the 4Kids version. What other version do we care about? Sure, I'll take the good dub. No, man. Give me some trash. Give me that pirate rap. Give me all that. Oh yeah. Give me that unnecessary censorship of certain. I don't even know. I didn't really watch One Piece. This was the reason I didn't watch One Piece. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and feel free to check out some of our other gaming videos, our weekly podcast Anime Yay or Nay, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!